The massive Zarkon warship, Eternal Conquest, descended through Earth's atmosphere, its energy shields shimmering against the friction of re-entry. Supreme Commander Vexter stood proudly on the bridge, his 4 eyes gleaming with anticipation. The conquest of this primitive world would be his crowning achievement, cementing his place in Zarkon history. "Status report," Vextor demanded, his voice a guttural growl that echoed through the command center. "All systems nominal, the Supreme Commander," his second-in-command, Sub-Commander Zalthar, replied. "The humans appear to be making no attempts at resistance. Our scans show their militaries are scrambling, but they have nothing that can touch us." Vextor's mandibles clicked in satisfaction, a sound that sent shivers down the spines of his bridge crew. The Galactic Council had warned them about Earth, calling it a death world that had produced a species of surprising resilience. But Vextor saw only a pre-FTL civilization ripe for conquest. His invasion force of 100,000 elite warriors, the pride of the Zarkon military, would be more than enough to subjugate this backwater planet. As the Eternal Conquest approached its landing zone in the heart of North America, Vextor noticed something odd. The human cities below seemed empty. No panicked masses fleeing, no futile military responses, just eerie silence. "Where are all the humans?" he growled, a note of unease creeping into his voice. Zalthar frowned, his lower eyes scanning the sensor readouts while his upper eyes remained fixed on the view screen. "Unknown, Supreme Commander. We're detecting some underground movement, but nothing substantial. Perhaps they're cowering in bunkers?" Before Vextor could respond, alarms blared across the bridge. The ship shuddered violently, throwing crew members off their feet and sending equipment crashing to the floor. "Report!" Vextor roared as he scrambled up, using his lower arms to steady himself against his command chair. "Multiple impacts across the hull," his weapons officer, Krenlo, shouted over the cacophony of alarms. "Some kind of projectiles? But they're moving at relativistic speeds, it's impossible." Vextor's blood ran cold, his exoskeleton paling to a sickly green. Relativistic weaponry was far beyond what the humans should possess. It was beyond even what the Zarkon had achieved. The ship rocked again as more impacts peppered its surface, each one carrying the energy of a small nuclear blast. "Shields are failing," Zalthar cried out, his voice cracking with panic. "We're losing altitude. Engines are non-responsive." Vextor watched in horror as the ground rushed up to meet them. The mighty Eternal Conquest, pride of the Zarkon fleet, crashed into the Earth with earth-shattering force. The last thing Vextor saw before losing consciousness was the bridge view screen shattering, showering the command crew with razor-sharp fragments. Miraculously, Vextor survived the impact. He crawled from the smoking wreckage, his ears ringing and body aching. As the dust settled, he saw his invasion force emerging from their drop pods, confused but ready for battle. The pods had been designed to withstand extreme impacts, ensuring that even if the mothership fell, the ground forces would survive. That's when he saw them. Thousands of strange cylindrical objects rising from the ground all around them, each one open to reveal a heavily armed and armored human warrior. The sight was like something out of a nightmare, a perfectly orchestrated ambush on a scale Vextor had never imagined possible. "Defensive positions!" Vextor roared, his voice amplified by his suit's speakers. "Form up and prepare for assault!" But it was too late. The human warriors unleashed a barrage of weapons fire unlike anything Vextor had ever seen. Plasma bolts, laser beams, and strange projectiles that seemed to phase through armor tore through his troops. Warriors fell by the hundreds in seconds, their screams of agony and surprise filling the air. Vextor tried to rally his forces, barking orders and strategies, but the humans moved with impossible speed and coordination. They seemed to anticipate every move, every tactic. It was as if they had been preparing for this exact invasion for years. As the battle raged, Vextor noticed something even more terrifying. The human warriors weren't just winning. They were methodically capturing Zarkon technology. Weapons, armor, even intact drop pods were quickly secured and whisked away by small, stealthy aircraft that seemed to appear out of nowhere. "Fall back to the ship," Vextor commanded, hoping to use the Eternal Conquest wreckage as a defensive position. But as his remaining troops tried to regroup, they found their path blocked by a shimmering energy field. They were trapped. Within an hour it was over. Of his 100,000 warriors, barely 1,000 remained, now surrounded and captured. Vexter stood alone amidst the carnage, his weapons empty, his communication devices destroyed. He had failed not just his mission, but his entire species. A single human approached him. Unlike the armored warriors, this one wore a simple uniform adorned with strange symbols. The human's face was impassive, showing neither fear nor triumph. "Supreme Commander Vexter," the human said in perfect Zarkon, "I am General Zhang of the Earth Defense Force. On behalf of humanity, I accept your surrender." Vexter's mandibles dropped in shock. How? How is this possible? You're pre-FTL. You should be primitive." General Zhang's expression didn't change, but there was a glint of something. Pride? Amusement? In his eyes. "We discovered the ruins of a precursor base on Mars 50 years ago. We've been preparing for this day ever since." The implications hit Vexter like a plasma bolt. The empty cities, the advanced weapons, the perfect tactics. Humanity had known they were coming, had been waiting for them. "Why?" Vexter managed to ask, his voice barely above a whisper. "Why let us come if you were so prepared?" For the first time, General Zhang smiled. It was not a pleasant expression. "We needed your ships, Commander, your weapons, your star charts." He gestured to the human warriors efficiently stripping down the Zarkon technology. "You see, we've learned that the galaxy is a dangerous place, and now, thanks to you, we have everything we need to defend ourselves, and to take the fight to any who would threaten us." Vexter fell to his knees, the weight of his failure crushing him. He had not just lost a battle, he had handed humanity the keys to the stars. As he was led away to captivity, Vexter saw the strange cylinders descending back into the ground, hiding away until they were needed again. He realized then what they truly were, not simple bunkers, but a planet-wide defense system. Earth itself was a fortress, and humanity its silent sentinels. The galaxy would never know what hit it. In the days that followed, the Zarkon Empire received a simple message, broadcast on all frequencies in perfect Zarkon. To all spacefaring civilizations, the Sol system is now a restricted zone. Any unauthorized entry will be met with immediate and overwhelming force. We have claimed our place among the stars. We will not be conquered. We will not be controlled. Earth stands ready. You have been warned. The message was accompanied by sensor readings from the battle, showing weapons that defied Zarkon understanding and tactics that seemed to border on precognition. The Galactic Council convened an emergency session. The human question, long ignored, was now the only topic of discussion. How had they advanced so quickly? What else were they hiding? And most importantly, how could they be stopped before they claimed the galaxy for themselves? But it was too late. Even as the council debated, hundreds of secretly constructed human ships were emerging from hidden bases across the Sol system. Armed with reverse-engineered Zarkon technology and crewed by veterans of countless simulated battles, the Earth fleet headed for the stars. Admiral Elena Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the EDF Horizon, humanity's first true interstellar warship. A product of human ingenuity and alien technology, it represented the culmination of 50 years of secret preparation. "Status report," she commanded, her voice calm but filled with anticipation. "All systems green, Admiral," her XO, Commander Yuki Tanaka, replied. "The fleet is in formation and awaiting your order." Elena nodded, her eyes fixed on the main view screen showing the vast armada of Earth ships. Each one was a testament to human determination and adaptability. "Send the signal," she ordered. "Operation Starfall is go." Across the fleet, FTL drives engaged. The ships of humanity's first interstellar armada vanished in flashes of light, bound for predetermined targets across the galaxy. Their mission was clear: secure strategic resources, establish forward bases, and neutralize any potential threats to Earth. The Zarkon invasion had given them the final pieces they needed, but humanity had been preparing for this moment for decades. As her own ship entered FTL, Elena allowed herself a small smile. Humanity had been patient. They had been clever. And now, they would show the galaxy why Earth was called a death world. The era of human galactic dominance had begun. On a distant world, in a secret facility buried deep beneath the surface, a lone figure watched a series of holographic displays. Each one showed a different human ship, a different battle, a different world falling to this upstart species. The figure's features were hidden beneath a shimmering cloak of energy, but there was no mistaking the air of ancient power that surrounded it. "So," it mused in a voice that seemed to echo through time itself, "the children have found their inheritance at last." A thin, almost skeletal hand reached out to touch one of the displays, freezing the image of a human soldier standing triumphant over a fallen alien foe. But are they ready for the responsibility it brings? Are they prepared for the trials that await them? The figure turned, its gaze seeming to pierce the vast distances of space, focusing on the blue-green world that had spawned this sudden upheaval in the galactic order. "Watch yourself carefully, humanity," it whispered. "You stand upon the precipice of greatness or extinction. The galaxy does not forgive mistakes." With a gesture, the displays vanished. The ancient being had much to consider. The game had changed, and the stakes were higher than ever. The true test of humanity was about to begin.